Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 75 of Cameron Sports Podcast. It's hosted Cameron Lindsay. Today's episode, I'm going to be recapping the NFL wildcard playoffs and giving my divisional round predictions. I wasn't able to make an episode for the wildcard round due to some difficulties in my personal life with my tooth. I had to get my tooth pulled, so I was in pain before I got it pulled, so I wasn't able to record an episode for y'all. But I wrote down my predictions for the wild card round, and I'm gonna tell you which games I got right, which games I got wrong. Starting with my Chargers taking on the Houston Texans. I had picked my Chargers to win this game, mainly due to I felt like we had a really good chance due to the Texans not having Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs, their offensive line struggling. C.J. Stroud having a sophomore slump. He not having the goodest year as he did his rookie year. Nico Collins, not 100%. He coming back from injury late in the season. So I really thought we had a legit shot to win this game. And, I feel like, okay, cool. We run the ball with J.K. Dobbins and Edwards. Lad McConkey have a good game. Maybe Quentin Johnston have a decent game. I really thought we had a legit shot. That's not the case. We ended up losing this game 32-12. My quarterback, Justin Herbert, threw 4 interceptions. Now, his regular season stats, he threw over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdown passes, and only 3 picks. He had the best touchdown to interception ratio in the whole NFL this season. So he had more interceptions in this game than he had all season. And here's the thing. If my Chargers would have lost this game like 32 to, let's say, 27, we would have lost a close game, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, you know what? We got a young team. Herbert got young receivers. Quentin Johnston, second-year receiver out of TCU. You got a rookie receiver in Lad McConkey, who's our leading receiver, has over 1,100 yards receiving, 8 touchdown catches. And our offensive line is not all that good. Our tackles are good. Joe Alt, rookie out of Notre Dame, and our Pro Bowl tackle, Rashawn Slater. But our guards are not really good. That's why we struggle to run the ball. So I feel like, cool, we still need more weapons. In the offseason, I was like, okay, in the offseason or the draft, I'd be like, they need to go get a T. Higgins or go draft a receiver or draft a tight end in the draft to get another weapon for Herbert because we got the offensive lineman, Joe Alt. We need more weapons. But I can't defend Herbert in this game. In my opinion, yes, he's a top 10 quarterback, but I can't put him over Joe Burrow. I can't put him over Lamar, obviously, Josh Allen. I can't put him in that category because I can't defend him. I will watch First Take. I will watch Facility, Speak, all these sports talk shows on FS1, and some of them will talk about Herbert and not put him in the same class as Joe Burrow. And I can't defend this. I really can't. Justin Herbert has elite talent, elite potential. He just got to deliver. He didn't deliver in this game. I gave him the excuse a couple years ago in that 27-0 comeback loss to the Jaguars because I blame that loss on Brandon Staley, playing our key guys in the last week of the season. The way his coaching, his time management, I blame that on Brandon Staley. That wasn't on Herbert, but this one is on Herbert. And I wrote down, is he elite? I say Herbert is, but I will have him below Burrow, Allen, Lamar. I can't put him in that category. And I might have to put C.J. Stroud slightly above him, maybe, because C.J. Stroud is 2-1 in the playoffs. Herbert is 0-2 now. I can't defend that. But I got that one wrong. Next up, Steelers and the Ravens. I got that right. I picked the Ravens and the Steelers. I thought this, due to the Steelers being on a 4 or 5 game losing streak to end the season, and the Ravens looking red hot. Lamar, if I could vote, he'll be my MVP. 41 touchdown passes, over 4,000 yards. Derrick Henry, 1,900 yards rushing, over 10 rushing touchdowns, well over 10 rushing touchdowns. Zay Flowers having a good year. Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Rashad Bateman. I just think the Ravens have more weapons and are playing their best football, starting to play their best football right now, and the Steelers were going like this. The Ravens were going like this, and the Steelers were going like this. So, obviously, I had picked the Ravens. I had to score at least by double digits. People thought the game was going to be close. Ravens ended up winning 28-14, but I'll tell you what, the score felt like it was worse than 28-14. It felt like the way the game played out, the way the game was going, like the Ravens were beating the Steelers 40-0, to be honest. So I think the Steelers defense with T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward and Mika kind of made it not as bad, but still 28-14 is a double-digit loss. And now, there's questions going on. Should the Steelers move off of Mike Tomlin? No and yes, but the Steelers don't move off of coaches. Like they said on multiple talk shows, First Take, the Steelers don't. The head coach before Mike Tomlin, Bill Cowher, who won the Super Bowl with the Steelers in 2005, he wasn't fired. He retired after that. And Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record. Yes, the Steelers have not won a playoff game since 2016, but they're such a well-run organization. They don't move off of head coaches like that. So I feel like they're not going to move off of him. The only way he's not there is if he probably leaves on his own free will, whether when his contract expires or maybe a trade. But as of right now, I just don't see the Steelers moving off of Mike Tomlin. I don't think he should. He's arguably one of the best coaches in the NFL. They just need to. I don't know the situation. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Are they going to re-sign one of them, both of them? Or are they going to try to sign Sam Darnold? Or are they going to draft a quarterback in the draft? It's so much, it's going to be so much to talk about this offseason. I literally can't wait. It's so many topics I can't wait to discuss on my channel. But I got the Ravens, so that's 1-1. Next wild card game was on Sunday. The Denver Broncos take on the Buffalo Bills. I had this as a blowout. Yes, Bo Nix had a phenomenal rookie year, leading the Broncos to the playoffs, but the Bills are too much. It's hard to play in Buffalo, hard to play in that weather. Josh Allen is looking like the MVP of the league. Like I said, even though I would vote for Lamar, I would not be mad if Josh Allen won MVP because he deserves it. The way he's been playing, over 40 total touchdowns, passing and running. He has limited his interceptions to less than 10, over 3,000 yards passing, almost 30 touchdown passes. He has over 10 rushing touchdowns. He has had a phenomenal year. And I just thought Buffalo was too much for Denver. Like I said, your rookie quarterback, they should not be, Denver Broncos fans should not feel bad about yourselves. You should feel good going into next year. Like, okay, you made the playoffs. Next year goal should be win a playoff game. Just like for my Chargers, I before the season started, I just wanted us to be relevant. Maybe almost make the playoffs, but next year I have expectations to win a playoff game. Be much better. Herbert, be much better. But I picked Buffalo. I won that prediction. Next was Packers-Eagles. Rematch from week 1 in Brazil. I picked the Eagles to win this matchup, especially playing at home, that crowd. Jalen Hurts had a pretty solid year. Saquon, over 2,000 yards rushing. That phenomenal Eagles offensive line. Them two Batman receivers and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Yes, I know Jalen Hurts came back from concussion, so he missed the last couple games of the regular season, but I still believe in Jalen to be he's a good quarterback. He's not elite, but he's a good, decent quarterback. So as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, the Eagles are a very dangerous team. They can only beat themselves. The Packers, I don't like the way they ended the season. They lost to Chicago. Jordan Love struggled a little bit. They lost a couple of their key games heading to the end of the regular season. So I just didn't really see the Packers beating the Eagles. I know last year as a 7th seed, they beat the Cowboys, almost beat the 49ers, but the Eagles are clearly better than the Cowboys talent-wise. From the beginning of the roster to the end, they're better than the Cowboys. So I got that prediction right. This is where the last two I got wrong. Commanders, Buccaneers. This one I was thinking back and forth. Like, okay, I love the way the Commanders are playing. Jaden Daniels, offensive rookie of the year. playing phenomenal. Baker Mayfield having a phenomenal year, over 4,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns. Yeah, he has 16 interceptions, but he's still having a phenomenal year. Mike Evans ties Jerry Rice's record for 11 straight 1,000 yards to begin his career. Shout out to Mike Evans. He's going to be a future first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. But I went with Tampa Bay due to home field advantage, due to Baker Mayfield having the advantage, because Baker knows how to win in the playoffs. He did it last year, beating the Eagles, almost beating Detroit. So I'm like, okay, I think Tampa will get the. This is going to be a good game, but I'm going to give the edge to Tampa. That's not the case. I think Tampa lost this game. When I was watching that, when Baker, he fumbled the ball trying to hand it off, I guess to a receiver or running back, that was their downfall right there. So I think, and it happens. Sometimes in a game like that, you need a little luck. It happens, and the Commanders took advantage of that. Jaden Daniel led a game-winning drive, and they kicked the game-winning field goal. Commanders got the win. So congratulations to Jaden Daniel, who looked phenomenal. Yet another game-winning drive for Jaden Daniels. Oh, and I forgot that I'm about to mention, are the Eagles legit Super Bowl contenders? I think so. Like I said, the only way the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl, they beat themselves. Run the ball with Saquon. It's a reason he got 2,000 yards. Run the ball with Saquon. But I'll get to the Eagles when I make my predictions in the divisional round. Lastly, Vikings-Rams. I knew this would be a good game also, and also is relocated to Arizona due to wildfires in California. But I went Minnesota. And yes, I know Sam Darnold's last game against Detroit did not go well, but he's had a phenomenal year, over 30 touchdown passes, I think almost 4,000 yards passing. Vikings defense has been looking really good all year. So I just felt like I think Minnesota had the edge a little bit over the Rams, who've been injured. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, the offensive line. But boy, I was wrong. I was watching that game, and the Rams sacked Sam Darnold 9 times. That tied a record for the most sacks by a single quarterback in the playoffs. A couple years ago, Joe Burrow had that record. He got sacked 9 times in the Super Bowl against the Rams. And Sam Darnold tied. He could not get the ball off whatsoever. They was on him all day. The rookie Jared Verse out of Florida State, all them boys. And he threw a couple interceptions. That didn't help. So now there's going to be lead questions of should the Vikings re-sign Sam Darnold? I think they could take a look. I think they should possibly, but franchise tag him. I wouldn't pay him that money because, okay, can you do it again? And I'll get into that when I during the offseason when I make my mock drafts or trades, offseason moves. I'm going to mention Sam Darnold. But yeah, I got that prediction wrong. So I went 3-3 in the wild card round. And, you know, I feel pretty good. Like I said, I could admit when I'm wrong. Obviously, I was wrong about my Chargers beating the Texans, like I said. And I didn't pick my Chargers just because I'm a Chargers fan, as you can see with my hat, my jersey. But I really thought we had a legit shot. The way we've been playing, Jim Harbaugh. But I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of Justin Herbert for the phenomenal season he's had. Over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 3 picks. We need to run the ball a lot better. So possibly we could look at a running back in free agency, maybe re-sign JK, draft a running back, draft an interior offensive lineman, guard, or draft, really I think receiver, tight end. We need more weapons for Justin Herbert. So I'm going to talk about that during the offseason, about my Chargers. Offseason moves I believe that we should make, and I hope we make. But yeah, I'll get into that. But now let me get into my divisional playoff round predictions. Starting with Saturday, 4:30, the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is a rematch between the regular season. Last time the Chiefs played the Texans, they pretty much dominated them. I mean, it wasn't a blowout, but they pretty much really did dominate Houston. And I just think in the playoffs, the Chiefs are a different team. That defense is legit. Nick Bolden, the corner, Murphy out of Washington. Oh, I forgot his first name. I'm gonna remember it after this episode. And Chris Jones, that defense is for real. It's legit. Playing at Arrowhead is no joke. It's the loudest stadium in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes, it's hard to bet against them, especially in the playoffs. And even though Travis Kelce is older, he's still reliable. And they still got Andy Reid. I can't bet against that. And yeah, I like CJ Stroud. He played phenomenal against my Chargers. He had a good year last year. Not so good a year this year. Struggled a little bit. But I just think that it's going to be way too much. No Tank Dell, no Stephon Diggs. I think the Chiefs are going to neutralize Nico Collins. I think it's going to be too much for Houston to handle. I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game clearly by at least 10 points. I'll go Kansas City. Next up, we got the Commanders. Saturday, 8 p.m., taking on the Detroit Lions. Like I said again, credits to Jaden Daniels beating Tampa on the road. He's a rookie, looking like a top 10 quarterback. He's arguably the rookie of the year. I mean, Bo Nix maybe could make some argument, but I think it's Jaden Daniels clearly. And Detroit had a bye week, number 1 seed, just like the Kansas City Chiefs did, had a bye week from the AFC. The Lions had a bye week in the NFC as a number 1 seed. I'm going to the Lions. I just think it's too much. I know the Lions lost Aiden Hutchinson, but that defense is still legit. I think they got too many weapons on offense with Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery's coming back from injury. You got Jameson Williams. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got Sam Laporta, the young tight end. I just think it's going to be too much. Jared Goff is playing legit. I know he had one bad game during the regular season against Buffalo where he threw 5 picks. But other than that, Jared Goff has had a really good, solid year. He was arguably in the MVP conversation, so he had a really good year. I just think it's going to be too much for the Lions. I think this is going to be where it stops. I got the Lions winning at 31 to 31. I could say 31 to 17. I think it's going to be too much for Jaden Daniels. I got the Lions winning this game over the Commanders. Next up, Sunday, Rams-Eagles. This is going to be an interesting game. This is a rematch from earlier on in the season when the Eagles played the Rams on the road at SoFi. And it was a good game for the most part. It really was. It wasn't a blowout. The Eagles ended up turning it up in the second half, running the ball with Saquon. I think Saquon ran for over 200 yards that game. I was watching it. Now, the key for the Rams to win this game, they're going to have to neutralize Saquon. They're probably going to have to stack the box and make Jalen Hurts beat them with his arm. Jalen Hurts has gotten better with throwing the football, but just like Unc Shay Shay said on Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco, Jalen Hurts he's not a pure thrower of the football, but he's gotten better at it. And like I said, Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. As long as he doesn't turn the ball over, I trust him. And yes, like I said, the Rams defense sacked Sam Darnold 9 times, but there's a difference between Jalen Hurts and Sam Darnold. Jalen Hurts can use his legs. He's way more mobile and athletic than Sam Darnold is. So he's a threat with his legs. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to get 9. And plus, that Eagles offensive line is very, very elite, especially with Lane Johnson with another All-Pro year. And that Vikings offensive line was horrible in that game. Even Darren Orlovsky said it on First Take a couple of days ago. That loss wasn't all on Sam Darnold, but I agree. That Vikings offensive line was horrible that game. They couldn't block a parked car. They was bad. I was watching it, and I'm just like, he can't get the ball off. He can't get it to Justin Jefferson. And the Rams DBs did a great job on the Vikings receivers. And Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, they did a great job neutralizing them and stopping the Vikings run with Aaron Jones. But the Eagles are different. You got Saquon. You got A.J. Brown, a number 1 receiver. You got Devontae Smith, another number 1 receiver. You got Dallas Goedert. You got Kenneth Gainwell. You got, what's his name? Calcaterra. They got a lot of weapons on the Eagles offense. And not even just the Eagles offense. The Eagles defense is loaded with young talent. Nolan Smith, Carter, the rookie corner out of Toledo, Quinyon Mitchell, another rookie corner out of Iowa, Cooper DeJean. You still got Darius Slay. I know they lost Nakobe Dean to injury. He's out for the rest of the playoffs, but that Eagles defense is legit. They got very good young talent. They can create turnovers. So I'm going Eagles over the Rams in a close one. I picked the Eagles to advance to play the Lions in the NFC Championship game, and that's going to be a very interesting one. Next up, I got the Ravens and Bills. This is probably going to be arguably the best game in the divisional round this week. Ravens and Bills. I was watching Facility on FS1, and LaShawn McCoy and them was talking about this game should be a Super Bowl matchup, an AFC Championship, but we get in the divisional round. And I think it's going to be very entertaining. Yes, the Ravens did beat the Bills at home. They blew them out. Derrick Henry had a monster game against Buffalo. I don't think it'll be like that again, a blowout. I think it's going to be closer this time. I hope it is. Because, we don't really like to see blowout wins. Too many blowout wins in the playoffs. We're going to see close games, really. But I think this is going to be a great game. Two elite quarterbacks. The two quarterbacks that either one's going to win MVP. I kind of wish like the winner of this game would get MVP, even though that's not how it's going to work. And I was going back and forth. This was the last game I was going back and forth in my head. Who do I have winning this game? And I'm going to go with the Ravens. Mainly because I know Lamar doesn't have the best playoff record, but this Lamar is different. 41 touchdown passes, only 4 interceptions, over 4,000 yards. Zay Flowers is back. I think he should be back for this game. Rashad Bateman is looking well. You still got Mark Andrews. Long as Lamar, like he did last week against the Steelers, Lamar, you was early in that ball game against Pittsburgh. He was using his legs. They was running the ball with Derrick Henry. So the Steelers could not stop the run. They didn't know if Lamar was doing that read option. They didn't know if Lamar was keeping it or handing it off to Derrick Henry. That's what they need to do. If they want to advance to the AFC Championship game again, they're going to have to commit to the run. Stay with the run. Yes, it's okay to pass, but you're a run the ball first team. Baltimore is a run the ball first team. Look what happened when you got away from running the football against Kansas City in the AFC Championship game at home. You lost. So if you want to win this game and get a rematch against Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, stick to running the football again. Make Buffalo stack the box. Make them have to commit to your run. Stop Derrick Henry. And they do stack the box. Look, they're going to lead to play action. You're going to have if Zay Flowers comes back from injury, he's going to have him over the top. You're going to have Rashad Bateman. You're going to have Nelson Aguilar, even though I'm not the biggest fan of him because he can drop passes. You still got Mark Andrews. So, yeah, but I got the Ravens in a close one. I'm going to say Ravens 27, Buffalo 23. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good one between two really good quarterbacks, two good teams. And that's going to lead to a rematch between the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. This time would be in Arrowhead instead of Baltimore. And then I'll have the Eagles taking on the Lions in the NFC Championship game. So I look forward to that. If my predictions go 4-0, those are going to be to make two really good conference championship games to see who advances to the Super Bowl. I really hope so. Now, I know for a fact the one I'm most confident in is the Chiefs and Texans. I will be completely shocked if Houston beats Kansas City on the road. That one right there, I will be completely shocked. Commanders, Lions, yeah, I'll be shocked too. I ain't gonna lie. That one too, I'll be shocked too because beating Detroit, I'll be shocked. The Rams over the Eagles, not necessarily because Sean McVay is an elite head coach. Matthew Stafford is still a top 10, 12 quarterback. Puka Nacua is elite. Cooper Kupp, when healthy, is elite. Bills over Ravens, I wouldn't be surprised because that game can go either way. But hey, like I said, I went 3-3 in the wild card round. I hope to do 500 or better again. But like I said, as a journalist, I can admit I was wrong. Like I said, I was wrong about my Chargers beating the Texans. I was wrong about the Buccaneers beating the Commanders. I was wrong about the Vikings beating the Rams. I can admit that as a journalist right in front of all y'all. Because I'm not going to be like some journalists where I don't take up for my wrongs or when I'm wrong, I can't admit when I'm wrong. I am wrong. Just like I'll be on my own podcast. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm still got my Chargers gear. Proudly. It's bolt up all day. Next year, we're going to be better. Like I said, I'm proud of my team. I didn't expect us to win 11 games. I thought we probably win like maybe 8 or 9, but I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of Jim Harbaugh, proud of Justin Herbert. He just has to be better. And I think he will be better. I just can't defend him because of that game. So if people say he's not better than Joe Burrow or Josh Allen, I'm not going to say nothing. But if they disrespect them too much, then I'm going to step in because I have stuff on my phone that will back up my Justin Herbert's being elite. So don't get me started on that. I got my receipts. I got my notes. I watched the game. I'm not no ordinary fan. I'm a future sports journalist. I say that all the time for a reason because I know my stuff. I can debate with the best of them. But yeah, those are my picks for the NFL divisional round for the AFC and the NFC. Chiefs over Texans, Lions over Commanders, Eagles over Rams, Ravens over Bills. But yeah, let me know in the comments who your predictions is to go to the Super Bowl, the AFC NFC Championship game. Go to the Super Bowl. Again, I apologize for not doing the episode by the wildcard round, but I'm glad I'm doing one now. And it's, I know I haven't talked NFL football in a minute due to the college football playoff. And I will do an episode about the national championship game this week for Monday as well. But thank you for tuning in for another episode of Cameron Sports Podcast. It's your favorite sports podcast host. And I'm signing out. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.